Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going deep on Alex Ferguson,
Oh, yeah.
the legendary manager, decades in British football. I mean,
Man.
to really try to understand him, we're using this
Yeah.
football bloody hell biography by Patrick Barclay,
Okay.
trying to go past all those big moments
Right.
and really see, what made him tick, what made
Yeah.
him so unique and sometimes so controversial.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look past all the trophies, all the fame,
Hmm.
you see his story is really as much about personal growth as it is about football.
I can see that.
A kid from a working class shipyard town,
Yeah.
Glasgow, rising to the very top of the sport.
The book really brings that out, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
you can practically feel like the grit and determination
Yeah.
of Govan just seeping into,
Oh, yeah.
young Alex's personality.
Absolutely.
Like his parents, that work ethic,
Hmm.
the competitive spirit, and everything they did, family life, street games.
Well, and Barclay really highlights these two mentors
Yeah.
who had a huge role in shaping his values.
Okay.
You got Douglas Smith,
Mm-hmm.
who instilled in him this deep moral code and this
Okay.
meticulous preparation. And then there's Scott Simon,
Okay.
much more of an authoritative figure who emphasized tactical innovation.
Interesting. It's almost like he took those two opposite approaches
Yeah.
and blended them into his own style.
It's that combination of discipline, strategic thinking
Right.
that made him so effective.
Not just about being,
Mm-hmm.
a hard man. It was also about having that vision
Exactly.
and knowing how to prepare
Yeah.
and being able to inspire the players to execute.
Yeah.
You could even see that in his early playing days.
Oh, yeah.
The book talks about this incident where he allegedly bit another player
Wow.
during a youth match.
Okay.
I mean, some might just see that as, a hothead moment.
Yeah.
But I see it as revealing something deeper about his drive to win,
Yeah.
even at that young age.
I think you're right. It speaks to this win at all costs mentality. Yeah.
That was there long before the pressure of managing at the top levels.
Like that story about him trying to talk to some Hungarian players,
Oh, yeah.
insisting they try a fillet.
Filet.
They thought it was some Scottish delicacy and ended up with this plate of raw fish.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's funny, but it speaks to his tenacity,
Oh, yeah.
to not back down, even with a language barrier.
Stubbornness in his youth
Right.
might have served him well in the high-stakes world of pro football.
For sure. And as we look deeper into his playing career,
Okay.
we see those traits playing out.
Yes.
Like his time at Rangers.
Okay.
It reveals so much about Scottish football
Right.
and those societal pressures that influenced his path. For anyone who doesn't know, this is where the book really gets into the sectarianism
Okay.
that has plagued historically Scottish football.
Yeah.
Deep-rooted religious and political divisions that just spill over
Wow.
into the sport, this highly charged atmosphere,
Okay.
playing for one of the clubs at the heart of that divide.
Right. Ferguson was right in the crossfire.
Yeah.
It shows that even legends like him
Yeah.
are shaped by forces larger than themselves.
It's a really crucial point.
Right.
These experiences on and off the pitch
Yeah.
really must have influenced his views,
Uh.
loyalty, team dynamics, managing in that polarized environment.
And then even the criticisms of him as a player,
Okay.
not being the fastest. Work rate sometimes questioned.
Oh, interesting.
They foreshadow the qualities he demanded from his teams.
You're right. It's like he took those weaknesses and made them strengths.
Yeah.
Emphasizing relentless effort and tactical discipline. It's almost like he was determined to prove those early critics wrong.
It's a fascinating psychological element, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe those criticisms actually fueled his fire
Makes you wonder.
and made him the manager he became.
Right, and that brings us to his managing career,
Yeah.
where we see this big shift in his persona
Yeah.
from good bloke to a very demanding, sometimes ruthless leader.
Yeah, that transition into management. It wasn't always smooth sailing, though.
Oh, right.
The early years, there were triumphs and setbacks.
Yeah.
A period of trial and error as he honed his craft.
Like his time at St. Mirren, that's a great example.
Oh, yeah.
He had some early successes
No.
building the youth development system.
All right.
But then there's that dramatic, controversial sacking,
Oh, right.
which ended up in a tribunal.
Yeah, such a messy situation.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say what exactly happened,
Mhm.
but it really impacted Ferguson.
Oh, for sure.
He became even more determined to have control,
Yeah.
to not be caught off guard again.
You see that even more as he moves to Aberdeen,
Yeah.
transforming a struggling club into a dominant force.
Okay.
It's amazing he combines this meticulous planning down to the smallest detail
Right.
with a deep understanding of how to motivate players.
The book really talks about his relationships with players.
Yeah.
Like Gordon Strachan,
Oh, yeah.
Mark McGee.
Strong personalities.
They clashed with him,
Yeah.
but they thrived under his leadership.
He understood that managing those egos,
Right.
just as crucial as any tactical master plan.
He wasn't afraid of confrontation.
Oh.
He used it to push his players to their limits.
There's that great anecdote about Archie Knox
Oh, yeah, his assistant.
complaining about Ferguson not delegating enough.
Right, like he was being micromanaged.
Yeah, he felt the need to be involved in every facet of the club.
Yeah, scouting reports, diets.
Exactly. And it created friction.
Yeah.
But it contributed to his success.
Look at those European triumphs.
A Cup Winners' Cup.
Over Real Madrid.
It wasn't just talent.
No.
It was unwavering belief in his methods.
And instilling that belief in his players.
And so we come to his move to Manchester United in 1986.
The defining chapter.
But those early years, not a walk in the park.
No, intense scrutiny.
Pressure he hadn't seen before.
Yeah, doubts from the club.
Yeah.
Could he replicate his success
Right.
on the bigger stage? And it's that FA Cup win in 1990
Yeah.
that changes everything.
Yeah.
It silences the doubters.
Gives him the space
Yeah.
to build the dynasty.
That FA Cup.
It was more than a trophy.
Right.
It was a statement.
He belonged.
Yeah.
He could achieve great things.
What follows is remarkable.
Fergie's fledglings.
The class of 92.
Beckham, Giggs, the Neville brothers.
It's a testament to his vision
Yeah.
and his belief in young talent.
He nurtured them.
Yeah.
Created the core of Manchester United's success.
And then Eric Cantona arrives.
In 1992.
That was a gamble.
Yeah.
A supremely gifted player, but volatile.
But Ferguson harnessed that talent.
Integrated him.
Turned him into an icon.
Speaks to his man management, handling those big personalities.
Yeah.
Creating a cohesive unit.
Not always harmonious, but effective.
Clashes, for sure.
But a deep understanding
Yeah.
of what made them tick.
When to push, when to support,
Right.
when to let that brilliance shine.
And Manchester United becomes this powerhouse.
Dominating the Premier League.
European glory.
Ferguson's tactical innovations.
But also his ruthless approach.
To building that winning squad.
Schmeichel. That never say die attitude.
Yeah, he wasn't afraid to make tough decisions.
Selling fan favorites.
If they didn't fit the vision.
Those clashes with rivals.
Arsene Wenger.
Epic battles.
Tactical brilliance. Psychological warfare.
Ferguson, master of the media.
Controlled the narrative.
Yeah. Mind games.
Us against the world.
And then the infamous hairdryer treatment.
Legendary pung lashings.
The book gives examples.
It wasn't just anger.
Yeah.
It was about demanding accountability.
Right.
Pushing them to be their best.
Even if it meant making them uncomfortable.
It's complex. Some criticize it.
Yeah.
But it created that culture of excellence.
And remember, there's life beyond football.
Right.
The book shows us his family politics.
Interesting.
Horse racing.
His lifelong support for labor shows he never forgot his roots.
Right.
And his love of horse racing.
That passion.
To unwind from the pressure.
But even then, that fire.
Whoa.
The controversy with the racehorse Rock of Gibraltar.
Right.
He would fight for what he thought was right.
Taking on powerful figures.
He's a force to be reckoned with.
Even away from the pitch.
That intensity, that determination.
In everything he did.
As we get into the later years,
Okay.
we see him evolving.
Yeah.
Adapting to the changing game.
He maintained that hunger for success.
Yeah, in his 60s and 70s.
New technologies, new tactics.
But stayed true to his principles.
Hard work, discipline.
Then, Cristiano Ronaldo.
The most talented player he managed.
The book says luck was involved,
Yeah.
but Ferguson nurtured him.
Yeah.
Created that environment for him to become a superstar.
Complex relationship.
Ups and downs.
But a testament to Ferguson's management.
Right.
Even the most demanding personalities.
But the later years weren't without controversy.
Of course.
The Beckham boot.
The Rio Ferdinand drug test.
Battles with the media.
Yeah, they show his loyalty to his players. His willingness to challenge authority.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to stand up for what he believed in.
Even if it meant making enemies.
That's right.
It's a reminder that even away from the pitch, Ferguson was someone you had to contend with.
Oh, yeah.
He brought that same intensity and drive.
everything he did.
So we move into the later years of his career.
Okay.
We see a manager who, despite everything he had achieved,
Right.
continued to evolve and adapt
Yeah.
to the changing world of football.
It's amazing how he managed to keep that hunger for success
Yeah.
well into his 60s and 70s.
Embracing new technologies, new
Yeah.
approaches.
But staying true to those core principles.
Right. Hard work and discipline.
Exactly.
And then, of course,
Cristiano Ronaldo.
arguably the most talented player he ever managed.
Oh, sure.
Now, the book suggests that there was an element of luck
Oh, yeah.
in finding Ronaldo.
Right.
But it's clear that Ferguson had a big hand in nurturing that talent,
Oh, absolutely.
creating that environment for him to become a global superstar.
Their relationship was complex,
Ups and downs.
but it shows Ferguson's ability to manage even those really demanding personalities.
And to get the best out of them.
Absolute.
Of course, these later years weren't without controversy.
Yeah, that's true.
The Beckham boot incident,
Right.
the clash with the FA over Rio Ferdinand's missed drug test,
Yeah.
and the constant battles with the media.
They paint a negative picture,
Hmm.
but you can see Ferguson's loyalty to
Yeah.
his players and his willingness to challenge authority.
Even when it put him in the spotlight.
He was never afraid to stand up for what he believed in, even
Yeah.
if it meant making some enemies along the way.
And so we come to 2013,
Okay.
the year Alex Ferguson announces his retirement.
The end of an era.
It felt like the end, not just for Manchester United,
Yeah.
but for football as a whole.
Yeah, the book really captures that moment
Yeah.
and the almost impossible task of replacing him.
We could feel that weight.
Oh,
over whoever took that job.
Ferguson built a dynasty,
He did.
a culture of winning at every level of the club.
It wasn't just tactics.
Yeah.
It was an ethos.
A way of life.
Was it going to be easy to replace?
It hasn't been.
Manchester United has struggled
Yeah.
to find that consistency
Yeah.
since he left.
It really shows how important he was.
And his influence, it goes way beyond Old Trafford.
Oh, absolutely.
So many managers have been shaped by his approach.
That focus on youth,
The attention to detail.
the psychology of the game.
But as the book says,
Yeah.
very few have actually managed to copy that success.
It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
was there something unique about Ferguson?
Mm-hmm.
A mix of traits and circumstances you just can't copy?
Right.
Or maybe football's just like life,
Yeah.
always changing.
What worked then
Yeah.
might not work now.
Exactly.
So as we get to the end of this deep dive,
Okay.
what are the key takeaways?
Well, it's a story about ambition.
Okay.
Hard work, resilience,
This man came from nothing.
faced setbacks,
Doubters.
but never gave up on himself or his vision.
It's also about adapting.
He had to change to stay ahead.
For decades,
New ideas, new tactics.
never stopped learning.
It also shows how complex leadership can be.
He was tough,
Ruthless.
but inspired incredible loyalty.
Yeah, he created a winning culture
A sense of unity.
that went beyond individual egos.
His legacy is complicated.
Oh, yeah.
Some criticize his methods,
His temper, his control,
but no one can deny his impact,
his personality.
the mark he left on the sport.
It's a legacy that people still argue about,
Admire.
scrutinize.
That's what makes him so interesting.
He wasn't perfect.
But he was brilliant.
He pushed the limit,
Defied expectations.
left his mark.
Maybe that's the question we leave you with.
Okay.
What is it about people like him
Yeah.
that allows them to achieve such incredible things?
Is it just talent?
Is there something more?
A certain way of thinking?
An unstoppable drive.
It's worth thinking about.
Maybe the answer is somewhere in that mix.
Of talent, opportunity.
And that will to win.
That defined Alex Ferguson.
That will to win
Yeah.
that defined Alex Ferguson.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the life and times
Yeah.
of one of football's most iconic figures.
Absolutely.
We'll be back soon
Looking forward to it.
to explore more fascinating people
Yeah.
and their impact on the world.
Can't wait.
But until then,
Mm-hmm.
keep exploring
Keep learning.
and keep diving deep.
See ya.